blocked a deportation plan by Donald Trump's administration that sent immigrants to so-called third countries without warning. The court says the practice may be illegal. What does this mean for immigration policy and those facing removal? Here's what you need to know. Hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel, Just Immigration News. Trump admin told it is not fine to deport immigrants without notice. A major legal showdown unfolded this week as a federal judge declared that deporting immigrants to countries they've never lived in, without warning or a chance to object, is unlawful. In an 81-page ruling, U.S. District Judge Brian E. Murphy, appointed by Joe Biden, sharply criticized the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, for carrying out what he described as secretive third-country deportations. Murphy referenced a prior government argument suggesting that deporting someone to another country was acceptable as long as DHS did not know the person would be harmed upon arrival. His response was blunt: "It is not fine, nor is it legal." The judge gave the Trump administration 15 days to respond before his order blocking the policy takes effect. Why it matters? This ruling represents one of the strongest judicial rebukes of DHS immigration enforcement practices in years. The court described the government's actions as extraordinary, citing violations of earlier court orders, misrepresentation of key facts, and near removals of individuals to countries where they could face persecution or torture. Thousands of immigrants already have final removal orders. Under DHS's policy, some could be sent to nations they have never stepped foot in, including unstable or conflict-ridden countries, without being informed or given the chance to request protection under U.S. or international law. Judge Murphy emphasized that the U.S. Constitution and long-standing immigration laws prohibit such removals without due process. DHS, however, has argued that agreements with third countries are necessary because some immigrants' home countries refuse to accept them back. What to know? The controversy stems from a class action lawsuit filed in March 2025. The lawsuit challenged DHS's emerging practice of deporting migrants to third countries not originally listed during their immigration proceedings. The practice intensified after a February 2025 directive instructed immigration officers to reopen certain cases and reconsider where migrants could be sent, even if they had already been granted protection from removal to specific countries. Then, on March 30, 2025, DHS formalized the policy in a memorandum. It allowed officers to deport individuals without prior notice if the U.S. had received unspecified diplomatic assurances that the receiving country would not persecute or torture them. Critically, no individualized review or disclosure of those assurances was required. The Trump administration, working through the United States Department of State, reportedly reached multiple agreements with foreign governments willing to temporarily or permanently accept deported migrants. But the court found these assurances vague and legally insufficient. Judge Murphy noted that nobody really knows anything about these supposed guarantees, who they apply to, what protections they provide, or whether they even exist in enforceable form. He ruled that federal law requires DHS to first attempt deportation to countries explicitly listed in a person's removal order. Additionally, protections against persecution and torture demand individualized assessments, not blanket, secretive transfers. What happens next? The ruling vacates DHS's third country removal guidance and requires written notice before any such deportation. Immigrants must also be given a meaningful opportunity to raise protection claims. However, the decision is temporarily paused for 15 days, allowing the administration to appeal to the First Circuit Court of Appeals. If no higher court intervenes, DHS will be required to comply with Judge Murphy's order. That's it for today's video. Please remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss future updates. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care.